Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. So, sort of the question posed, what we're talking about here in this video is Thailand the best place to retire in Asia? Now, I can give you my personal opinion on this, and I give them number one with a bullet. You know, Thailand is definitely the best place to retire in Asia. And as I've discussed in other videos on this channel, Thailand really is not given, and this goes to the government too, is not given the credit it deserves with respect to the efforts made to keep Thailand open in terms of a tourist destination and in terms of a retiree destination. Thailand went, in my opinion, above and beyond, especially when compared to the other jurisdictions here in Southeast Asia. I mean, you know, when comparing to Vietnam, who, you know, basically as a country just locked folks out. Malaysia was rather difficult to get into and maintain status in, to my understanding, or at least relatively more difficult than Thailand. You know, Cambodia just basically locked up. Laos, yes, there was a time when Thailand went to a full lockdown. There's no doubt about that. And as I noted at the time and since, those were the protocols associated with a true quarantine. You know, I always kind of found the quote-unquote quarantine in the USA rather strange insofar as it wasn't a full, like, it didn't lock up the country and not let anyone in, the so-called Prince Prospero method of, you know, just close it all down. Now, I would argue, especially in retrospect, maybe that was a good thing for sort of those jurisdictions on a certain level, and, you know, maybe it was a bit of an overreaction on Thailand's part, whatever you want to call it. Thailand did what the protocols dictated, and insofar as that, and when we didn't know what this was, you know, I think it was probably called for. Now, Thailand did go, you know, the summer of 2020 and onward, Thailand did put protocols in place to allow foreign nationals into the country. Other countries, again, Vietnam, Philippines, some of these other places in Southeast Asia and Northeast Asia as well, didn't really take the same approach. And it was relatively difficult, if not impossible, for foreign nationals to get into those countries. So along those lines, yeah, I do think Thailand's proven itself for a lot of different reasons, which I'll get into here in a minute. But just in terms of how it handled all of this stuff and dealt with sort of balancing getting people in, allowing retirees access to the country if they were out, Thailand did better than a lot of jurisdictions, and it really should get credit for that. I really do believe credit where credit is due. The government and the policymakers here in Thailand did take that into account, and they acted accordingly. But more to the point with this video, a recent article from thainews.prd.go.th, so basically the National News Bureau of Thailand, and the article is titled, "Thailand named #1 destination in Asia for global retirees." Quoting directly, internationalliving.com has ranked Thailand the best destination in Asia and the 11th best in the world in its 2022 Global Retirement Index. Quoting further, according to the website, the rankings and indices are based on various factors including cost of living, food, medical costs, visa convenience, weather, things to do, tradition, and culture. I do know there are some folks in the comment section of these videos that might take a little bit of issue with the notion of visa convenience. You know, and believe me, you know, when I do have staff that kind of monitor the comment section. We can't monitor every little thing, frankly, but, you know, I do occasionally. Your annoyance in the comments is noted. Now, that being said, visa convenience, I would say, again, relative to the rest of Asia, Thailand has been one of, if not the most visa convenient countries to deal with. Again, yes, I'm not saying in all cases, and I'm sure, you know, the comments will explode with, well, in my situation, you know, it was terrible and this, that, and the other thing. I do understand, you know, this has not been a perfect set of circumstances, and my criticism has been voiced many times. But that being stated, I do think Thailand is about the best place for retirees in Asia, regardless of what this survey notes, for a lot of different reasons, as they did note in there, things like cost of living, medical infrastructure. I can't stress that enough. There's really no place else in Southeast Asia at the same level as Thailand with respect to medical infrastructure. You know, I've been critical on this channel, and I will be critical from time to time if I think, you know, it's warranted But I even have to kind of check myself a little bit and remind myself that, hey, compared to other jurisdictions out there, especially in Asia, Thailand has done what it could and done its best to go ahead and try to accommodate retirees in Thailand, as well as best it can try to accommodate tourists here in the kingdom.